Merry Maid and welcome to Jupiter's Radiance. I'm Taylor and today we're going over a card spread that I'm calling our Chakra Lights, and it's for our first week of December. Let's go ahead and just jump right into it. And so this is to support in aligning with the energies of transition through understanding the balance of chakras. So it is meant to resemble kind of like the string lights that we are using for decoration typically around this time of year, depending on where you're at. But as always, this is meant to be supportive whenever you are needing to understand your chakras and are trying to align with an energy of transition. So definitely don't limit yourself. And so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and they are each associated with the crowns. I'm so sorry, with the chakras. And so we have 1 being our root. This is what your foundation is. Sacral is how do you move through the change. Solar plexus is going to be where's your courage. And then for the heart, what do you need to do? Like, what do you need? Like, your heart is like, I need this. And then 5 is going to be the throat. What do you need to express? So even further. And then we have the third eye. What do you need to trust? So this is kind of an ask from the universe. And then crown. What do you need to surrender to? So again, so as you get into those more higher energies, after satisfying your own personal needs, it's then asking you to trust a little bit more outside of yourself and recognizing that in order to achieve this full transition, that there is more than meets the eye, essentially. So let's go ahead and jump into our collective reading. And so for root, what is your foundation? We have the 10 of Cups. So this is a clear-cut image of family, but it's also the emotion around the family. And this also, to be stated here, when I say family, it's not necessarily like your birth family. It can be your chosen family, because the big thing about the 10 of Cups is the fact that you kind of get to choose your happy ending. So your foundation is your happy ending, right? Or your happy beginning, however you wish to see it, right? And maybe a more positive light, since we are starting at card 1. But recognizing that you're not alone in this process in any capacity. So both with, as they say, like seen and unseen allies. Okay, so let's go ahead and see how you're moving through this change. And we have the Wheel of Fortune. It just feels very clean cut. So in order, getting the Wheel of Fortune for moving forward it means you're moving forward whether or not you want to, kind of situation. It means that time is going to keep going whether or not you dig your heels in or whether or not you run faster, that you can't really stop or change at the rate that it's going. And so that's going to be very important, because how you move through it is by recognizing that it is moving in the first place, and that there is, in fact, it is truly a change. Like, it's not just an energetic internal situation. There's change on the external as well. And so for some of you, this might be a validating moment where it's like, okay, no, I know I'm right, that there is like a change in the wind. Let's go ahead and just see where your courage is with this. And so we have 5 of Swords. So what this is letting me know is that there is compromise during this. Your courage is in the fact that, 1, you are moving through this struggle and that you will be successful through this struggle. So knowing that you're going to be successful is important. The other element to know this about is the 5 of Swords notoriously is a like 3 out of 5. So like you just barely got out of it, and that you're able to, so like not everyone is going to be happy, essentially. Like the happiness comes from the success, not necessarily getting every single thing that you wanted. And so the courage is going to be understanding. Yeah, the courage is actually like, even though you're losing some parts, you're going to be winning overall, and to keep pushing through that energy. Okay, and so what do you need to do? And we have Temperance. And so this is kind of interesting, because there's a couple of elements here coming forward. There is this element of the back and forth, and so it's okay to not go just to not just steam forward, right? We did have How Are You Moving with the Wheel of Fortune and that fact that it just keeps going. But it's okay to kind of look back and reflect, and it's okay to look forward and plan, and then to find yourself in the present in between those two energies. Okay, and remember your foundation is those around you who are supporting you. So in this temperance, you are not alone in this, because a lot of this is very like you're doing this on your own, like you're the one driving this, but you are being supported. So the things that you need to do is to kind of give yourself grace for not being perfect at this time, and that you are creating a truer change in your life. And lastly, with that, I will say that there is a need to make sure that you are kind of having check-ins with those around you who can be a little bit more objective than critical. That's the key thing, right? If you do have people around you who are like maybe a little bit more critical and like add to that criticism of yourself, then maybe talk to someone who sees you a little bit more objectively, and they may be able to highlight for you like, oh no, I could never, like you're doing this at a much higher capacity than I ever could. Like you might be succeeding more than you realize, essentially, when you get that other person's view. All right, and so now what do you need to express with this? We have the Page of Wands. Okay, so it feels like you've been holding yourself back. It feels like you've been holding yourself back out of fear of pursuing what you really want, and because you're not sure if it's going to really work out. And so what you need to be expressing is that creativity, that creative side of you, that adventurous side of you, and the fact that you want more for yourself. Another element coming forward with the Page of Wands is this sense of exploration and just being honest with yourself. And it literally comes up of the sense of, if you ask and like tell people like, oh, you know what, I really want to go take this trip, like you're going to be met with more like, oh my gosh, that sounds amazing, let's plan it, than what a stupid idea. And so that's why this is coming up of like, you need to express this again. So it comes up and being around like, what you need to do is give yourself grace, and by doing that you can talk to other people outside of yourself, and then you will see more positive affirmation, reassurance than negative. And so allowing yourself to engage with those energies a bit more is going to be so important, and that's why the expression is important. Okay, and so what do you need to trust? Okay, so 10 of Wands for what do you need to trust is a very interesting one. Immediately what comes to mind is what you need to trust is that you're carrying too much, and that means that something is going to fall, that you are overwhelmed and burned out, and it is okay to recognize that. And in order to trust in the fact of like, okay, something is going to fall, is you kind of have a little bit of a decision then. You're kind of able to be like, what can fall without me being too concerned, and trusting in that element. And so let's go ahead, since this is all about trusting and the next one is about what you need to surrender. Sorry, this card is literally about like, you kind of need to drop something and trusting that it's going to be okay. And then our next card is about surrendering. So they're just like how these two were very closely related, I feel these two are going to be too. And so we have the Queen of Pentacles. So what you need to surrender to is more comfort and luxury. So the struggle that you're placing on yourself is taking away from the comfort available to you. Also, it goes back to this element of time, is that there is this energy that you can't let go of anything because you have to carry it all forward with you, and that is simply not true. And so what you're surrendering to is the fact of, oh, maybe I can let this go and it's all going to be okay. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and leave it there, because a big part of this is also just recognizing that you are valid and worthy of having that comfort and luxury in your life. And that is going to take more than just a simple reading and me saying it in 3 different ways. So I just encourage you, especially at the time that you're seeing this, if you're seeing this at a time when you can't immediately do something, then put it on your calendar right now to do something for yourself today. If you can do it right now, I encourage it. But if you can't, then to literally schedule it for later today, and also give yourself grace. Maybe later you're like, you know what, I'm gonna go out and do this thing for myself. And then when it comes time, you're like, actually, I'm really tired and I don't want to do that. Then the thing you're gonna do for yourself is cancel those plans and do some other self-care that makes you feel excited and happy. It is not necessarily, you don't have to stick with the plan when it makes you feel more overwhelmed or burdened. All right, now I'm gonna actually leave it there. I want to thank you guys so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Feel free to comment below, and I will see you guys next week. Blessed be.